Good afternoon, everybody. Chag Sameach. Welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land and hosted by myself, Rolene Marks. And it is the fifth night of Hanukkah. Yes, we'll be lighting those candles, bringing more light, more joy to the world, because it is sorely needed on a day like today. Today's news broadcast is a very difficult one to do because it involves headlines that have been dominating our newspapers and our news channels today that are really, really concerning. So let's start with the top story. And that is that two Israelis last night were almost lynched when they took a wrong turn into Ramallah. The two Israelis, religious guys, en route to Hashmonaim, probably to light their Hanukkah candles when they landed up in Ramallah. The car that they were in was stoned and set on fire, but thank goodness for Palestinian police, who managed to rescue the two Israelis and then handed them over to the IDF for safety. Now, this could have gone horribly, horribly wrong. We are all aware of the images of a lynching some 2 decades ago of two Israelis who also took a wrong turn and ended up in Ramallah. Just as an aside, it's very easy to perhaps make a turn in the wrong direction. It happened to me a couple of years ago on the way home from Jerusalem. I ended up in Ramallah. Thank goodness, just guardian angels or help from above, I managed to get out very, very quickly without being spotted. Thank goodness. And I'm here to tell the tale. In other news, we go to the United Nations, and the UN General Assembly voted yesterday 129 to 11 to basically ignore Jewish ties to the Temple Mount. Now, the Temple Mount is probably the holiest site in Judaism. It was the site of the two temples. It is known amongst Muslims as Al-Haram al-Sharif. But in a resolution put forward called the Jerusalem Resolution, it basically denies any Jewish ties to the Temple Mount. And this is part of what many are calling a Palestinian attempt to rebrand Jewish holy sites as exclusively Islamic. The United States, who voted against this, said that this is very real and very, very concerning. The United Kingdom also launched their appeal, saying they are very, very concerned about the exclusive naming of a site that is holy to Jews. They also said Christians as well, by referring to it only by an Islamic name. And several countries like Germany, Hungary, Slovakia, Slovenia, Czech Republic, and several others voted against the resolution. But it is concerning because we are celebrating Hanukkah. We celebrate miracles at the site of the temple, and it's very, very concerning that an international body that is there to protect the rights or the human rights of everybody is negating Jewish rights. We now go to London, and police are hunting down, I'm going to use the terminology that the British media are using, yobs, a group of yobs who hurled racist abuse, spat at and banged their shoes on a bus that was stood stationary on Oxford Street in London. Now, if you've ever been to London around about this time of the year, you will know just how busy Oxford Street is. It's busy all year round, but particularly this time of the year. The bus had a group of Jewish teens who were on their way to light candles for the first night of Hanukkah when they were accosted by the Nazi saluting yobs, also screaming "Free Palestine," because of course nothing says "Free Palestine" like hurling abuse at Jewish teenagers. It has been roundly condemned by including many members of the mainstream media. I know there has been some criticism that not all mainstream media is covering this. I have seen GB News and several other news services cover this, as well as UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who said that this kind of racist action will not be tolerated in the United Kingdom. And it is our hope that the police catch the perpetrators very, very soon. And our final story takes us to Scandinavia, it takes us to Finland, where the capital city of Helsinki's city government have voted that they will no longer do business with businesses that come from what they are calling the illegally occupied Judea and Samaria. They call this occupied territory. However, businesses in these territories provide a lot of employment opportunities to Palestinians as well as Jews. The legal department of the city government have said that it's not entirely legal to do this. However, the motion passed 8-7 and has been referred back to the legal department to try and enforce it. And for many of us looking at this action, it feels like a horrible time in our history where we were forced to wear yellow stars identifying us as Jewish. So today has been a difficult broadcast to bring you. It's always heart-wrenching to bring stories that involve this kind of level of hate invective or anti-Semitism. But it is our duty to report on the news and also to bring you those stories that you might not see in the mainstream media. But don't worry, for other stories, you can check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. I have an article up directed at the New York Times who accused us of being miserable. Well, New York Times, Israelis are not miserable, and there are many reasons for that. Check out my article there. It's also on our Facebook page at Lottel's site. If you haven't already given us a like or a follow, please do so and share our content. We're on YouTube. If you're watching us right now, please help us get news from Israel to as many people as possible by clicking on the red subscribe button right under this broadcast. Please like and share our content. We really appreciate it when you do. And we're on Twitter. We are at Lay of the Land with the digit 5. And hey, drop us a Chanukah Sameach there. So with the Thursday edition of the Israel Brief, I'm Rolene Marks, about to light my candles for the 5th night of Chanukah. I invite you all to join me wherever you are in the world doing the same. I wish you all a peaceful, a restful, and a joyful weekend. Please stay safe and healthy wherever you are. Have a wonderful weekend. Shabbat Shalom. And we'll check in with each other on Monday for your top stories.